election, let's speak with yet a very key stakeholders in this election, and that is the Director General of the NYSC, the National Youth Service Corps, the Brigadier General Yushol Dogara Ahmed, who joins us virtually from Bauchi. Thank you so much, DG. It's good to see you. But thank you again, because the last time we spoke, it was a presidential election. Now is a state election, the governorship and the House of Assembly elections in the state. So there's a lot of difference, a word of difference between that and this one. So give us an understanding. Are you deploying the same number of men or women or NYSC Corps members that you deployed for the presidential election that you are deploying for INEC to use in this election? Can you hear me? Seems you'll be having some difficulty hearing me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, fantastic.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Brigadier General. Please go ahead. If you heard me, my question basically is to know whether there is any difference or change between your deployment of the Corps members that you deployed for the presidential election and this election of tomorrow. Any change that we need to know?
No, there is no, virtually there is no any change, no changes at all. We are deploying the same number of Corps members across the country. So we intend to carry out with the assignment just the way we did in the presidential election. There's no any change at all.
So can you give us the details of the deployment? Do you have the numbers of the number of the young men, the number of the young women, and altogether, how many are they?
You know, I told you the other time we have over 200,000 youth Corps members were trained, and we have them ready for deployment. The deployment, as you know, is based on INEC needs. So INEC are prepared to deploy them across the country. So the same number are available. Whatever they take out of this that they have been trained, we are good to go. We're already there to
talk to us about talk to us about their welfare. Have they been paid from the last time fully? Because the issue of some of the part of the payment that were paid for their services in the presidential election, and whether or not they've been given their balance of the service of the presidential election or their duty then and ahead of this one. What can you tell us based on what the Corps members are telling us?
Well, their welfare has actually been catered for. Majority of them have been paid. Majority of them have been paid all their allowances. However, there are a few of them that have some hitches here and there in some isolated states. And this is not actually a big problem. Most of the problem is from the account numbers given to the INEC. And as of today, most of those problems have been rectified. And I'm sure between now and Monday, everybody must have been paid. But majority of them have actually been paid their allowances. I'm happy about that. The few ones that we have issues were on course in trying to rectify the problems. Those that we have identified where the problems are, we are taking measures with INEC to ensure that they have been paid. So in terms of their welfare, I think there is no cause for alarm.
So there are reports, though, of some skirmishes and some violence, disruptions here and there in the presidential and National Assembly election. I hope none of your Corps members were caught in those incidents. If there is any, what can you tell us?
Well, we actually have some isolated cases of malhandling of Corps members, most especially in some states. Particularly in FCT, around Lugbe, there was a Corps member that was roughly handled where he was beaten up with the alleged thumb printing of ballot paper. When the Corps member was taken, we discovered that there was nothing like thumb printing of ballot paper. The Corps member was just doing his normal duty by stamping the ballot paper as it is required. But some scrupulous individual just alleged that he was thumb printing. he was actually manhandled, beaten up. When we saw the clip, we suspect that that Corp member will not make it. A lot of people were making speculation that the Corp member is dead. But I assure you, that Corp member, I've seen him. He was in my office after the election. He was treated and he was well. Those people that were involved in those acts were actually arrested by police. Then in Gombe, also a female Corps member was also manhandled. On her way to the rack, he was attacked and cutlass was used on her. She was badly injured. You may recall that it was widely spread in the social media equally in Enugu, where a Corps member was alleged to have been transferring vote meant for Obi to Kwankwaso, which was wrongly alleged. I interviewed the lady. She was actually an origin of Enugu. What happened was a different scenario. She explained to me, and thank God that one she has not been attacked. But I think they did a video. After doing the video, they did what we call cut and join to serve their interest and just put it on public view. Equally, the most horrible one that happened occurred was the one in Delta State. It so happened we're aware the issue of these beavers where they don't work well, where we have issues of network here and there. Some core members were detained by some youth in Delta State, saying that they would not allow them to leave that voting poll until they offload the result. They told them that there's no network and there's nothing they can do. At the end of the day, in fact, they tried to find their way out. They chased them out of the place. Before you know it, they were waylaid and some unknown gunmen opened fire on the vehicle. 2 of my Corps members were shot. They were taken to hospital. There was speculation that the 2 of them were dead, but I assure you all of them were alive. They have been discharged from the hospital and they are okay. They are doing well. There are isolated cases of attacks. Honestly, it was not good enough, but thank God, all of them are now fit. They are on their feet, and there is no much problem.
So, Mr. Ahmed, based on these concerns arising from your postmortem of the participation of Corps members as ad hoc staff in the presidential election, are you confident about, their participation yet again in tomorrow's election in terms of welfare, protection, and all other requirements for their comfort and well-being during the process?
Yeah, I'm confident they are going to do their best. After the election, we called for a meeting of all state coordinators across the country. We came around, we have discussed with them intensively, and after the meeting, we have reviewed some of the places where we need to improve. We have talked about that state coordinators to talk to the Corps members, and I assure you, across the country, all the Corps members are ready to participate. There was no any problem with that. The only issue is that we try to intensify the call on the security agencies, particularly the police, who are the first layers that have contact with these polling stations. We have talked with the police, we have talked to the DSS, as well as the civil defense, and assurance have been given to us. In some cases, we discover that where these Corps members were deployed, they don't have enough security men there. And some cases, they were deployed on, you see, one polling unit or one single Corps member. We try to discourage such deployment. We have talked to INEC that at least 2 Corps members be deployed in the same place, and at least INEC officials to be close by in case of any technical issue. They can always come to their rescue and make amends. So in this case, I want to assure you that the Corps members are ever ready and prepared to work for this election. So, like today, when I came to Bauchi, like normal, I have met with the brigade commander, artillery brigade commander, 33 artillery brigade. I have met with the director DSS. I met with the commissioner of police and also the commandant of the state civil defense. All they have given me the assurance that they will do their best. And I'm in contact with all the state coordinators. They have done the same. What we have done here, they have done the same. We have sent circulars. Apart from talking to them, we have signed a letter calling them to make some amendment on such areas where we see there are lapses. And I think we have received a very commendable and well-deserved response. And I want to believe that we are fully prepared and the core members are ever ready to do.
Yes, indeed. Safety is paramount for the core members. Brigadier General, I wonder how well, the Corps monitored the presidential election, because Nigerians really own the process. And on Saturday, February the 25th, we could see how quick and fast they tagged the commission in videos where members of Nigerian Corps members as ad hoc staff were accused of compromise and corrupt practices during the election. How worried are you about this, that it impacts negatively on the image of the Corps?
I must tell you, most of these accusations are mere accusations by people based on their selfish interests. I'm yet to receive one report of any Corps member that was accused of any wrongdoing. And if there is, I have not received any. And I tell the police, the court is there. They are just Nigerians like every other Nigerian. If they have any evidence, go to court, and I'm sure they can vindicate themselves. We have always told the Corps members they are not immune. They are not immune to any of these wrongdoing. So whoever that have done anything wrong, they will be prosecuted. I've told them, and they are aware. So all the accusation is just mere accusation. I have not seen one. Let me tell you. Immediately after the presidential election, there was a clip that one of my friends sent to me in my WhatsApp. Say, please, did you see what the governor of Rivers State is doing to Corps members? It's very ugly video. When I saw it, it was a video that I have already seen, and I know what happened in that situation. I now quickly respond. I said, please stop sharing this video. That is a wrong accusation. Nothing happened in Port Harcourt as far as I'm concerned. And after that one, I saw a clergyman who was accusing Corps members that 2022, 2023 Corps members must not be employed without thorough investigation, this and that they have wronged. I am yet to see any evidence. I found it difficult to believe a father of that at that level will come out and discredit a whole bunch of Corps members that participated in this election, who have sacrificed their life. Children, innocent children from different parts of the country come out, dedicate themselves under the rain and under the sun to give their best. Most of these places, you go there, you don't see tent on their heads. They're standing on the bare sun. It's just that their zeal to give the best they could. And somebody will come on the social media, all they're after is to discredit. Okay, when you discredit, bring evidence or carry a report. Mention the name of the polling unit, take them to court, and they will be prosecuted. And every Nigerian will see. As I talk to you, I'm telling you, I'm not seeing one. So what accusation are you talking about? They are just mere speculation as far as I'm concerned. The National Youth Service Corps schemes, the corpers will continue to give their best and are ever ready. At least they need even commendation from this country, for everybody. These are our children, our brothers, our sisters, is doing the best they could. We shouldn't discredit them. We shouldn't discourage them from what they are doing. That's what I would just say.
You know, it's interesting, Brigadier General, to see you vouching for and standing by the Corps members. I imagine it will be encouraging for them as well. But I'd like you to seize this opportunity to then clarify that issue, the video you said you saw about Port Harcourt. What exactly played out there? Because, I mean, that video has circulated, as you said, and a lot of people might not understand what exactly played out. So, I mean, let's use this benefit of this interview to speak to that.
The clip going around is the same clip I was telling you, where Corps members were forced to upload the result, and they couldn't upload that result. They were almost getting lynched. They have to extricate themselves. The bus driver drove. Unfortunately, along the line, they met some group of armed men. The driver couldn't stop, and they opened fire at them. It was exactly what happened when the vehicle finally stopped, and the Corps members were trying to complain. We asked the driver to stop, he wouldn't stop. That was in Delta State. And before you know, we discovered that 2 of the Corps members were shot. They were rushed now quickly to the hospital when they discovered that they are innocent. After taken to the hospital, I was called upon. I followed up with the situation. I sent my state coordinator to go there. He identified them. Yes, they are core members. They were now given attention 2 days or 3 days. Just the following day, I talked with them through video call. I saw them, I encouraged them. And 4-5 after a week, it wasn't even a very serious matter as such, because the pellet, or that means the impact of the rounds or the bullet in their body wasn't that serious, but it was extricated, it was removed, and they were treated. And as I speak to you, the two of them are in their various homes. They come from their homes and take treatment, see doctor, and go back. I talked to them on at interval. They are okay. Those are the videos they're talking about Port Harcourt. And this incident happened in Delta. Subsequently, there was another video by a clergyman. I was telling you, discrediting completely what the core members have done, alleging that $200 were given to them. I expect that as a father, as a concerned citizen, as a mentor, a very important personality of that magnitude should be able to at least bring forward the issue to us, to investigate, or to the state coordinator closer to him, to investigate, for your interest, But the day I had meeting with the state coordinators, I tried to confirm from the state coordinator River State. He never even saw the clip at all.
Right. But should some of these allegations, I mean, all these allegations of videos flying around, should they be substantiated? What sort of, how does the NYSC handle it? What kind of structures are in place, and what are the consequences?
Well, the consequences is not in NYSC. The consequences in Nigerian law. Whoever that violated election rules, the laws are there. It will be, they will be tried, and what is supposed to be done, they will be done to them. We will not shield anybody that do anything wrong. Right.
Let's speak to some of the reports we have seen. I mean, I think before the presidential election, it was reported that some core members withdrew. Have you had any case of core members withdrawing as a result of, security? Because seeing what we saw during the presidential election, some of the core members being held hostage, as you alluded to, I mean, it is expected that perhaps some people might be a bit apprehensive as to going out again. I mean, they have families and all of that. Do you have any reports of such core members saying, well, we're a bit scared, we don't want to go out this time around?
We are talking of Imo case of insecurity. It's not even only Imo. In most of these states, we have Borno State, we have Katsina State. There are some specific areas, I have always talked on this matter, where there are security concerns. We don't send core members there. So there's no any particular issue that some core members are apprehensive or they are afraid they will not go out. The same number we train, the same number we deploy, they are still ready. They have to avail themselves for this exercise. So I want to tell you there's nothing like issue of apprehension. Let me tell you of a story of a particular core member who was coming to Wari from Nasarawa State. She left their parents on her way to Wari immediately after the election. She was kidnapped alongside with other passengers in their vehicle. This core member fought herself out with the kidnappers. She was successful. She was able to extricate herself from their hands. She came back. Quickly, by good Samaritans, picked her up and took her to hospital. She was injured on the head, her face, and on the shoulder with cutlass, badly injured. I talked to this core member. What happened? She narrated. She was in the hospital. I said, okay, no problem. I will sit talk to you. I sent the state coordinator. Before even the state coordinator, the good Samaritan that picked up one particular pastor there, he did everything to ensure that this core member she was treated before the state coordinator came and took over from there. Do you know today I called that core member? I said, choose any state, I'm going to relocate you. Because of the trauma and she laughed. She said, sir, I'm prepared to serve in Wari. I'm not going to relocate. I'm not going to relocate it to anywhere. Her father is from Adamawa State. The mother is from Oyo State. She's schooled in Benin. She's serving in Delta. She says she's okay. She's ready to serve. Most of this apprehension is expressed by parents. This young Nigerians are prepared to give the best they can. You can imagine a lady who will fight against such kind of situation, she find herself in such kind of situation and fight her way out and still choose to remain in that place. You can see the level. When I talk to her, I say, how did you do it? Yes, sir. I have to carry out my martial art experience in the camp. I said, please, next time, don't try it. We were laughing. You can't believe what this girl is saying. And when you see the injury, I couldn't look at her face twice. Oh, wow. In her chin here. To tell you the level of sacrifice.
I must say that is, I must say really that is a remarkable story, and I think it speaks to that true Nigerian spirit that is expected. And I imagine she's listening right now. I would like to say we're really proud of you and the work you're doing. Thank you for your service to the nation. But I know you had a meeting with security agencies, DSS, NSCDC, the military and the police, and you called for better protection, or at least more protection for your core members. And what does that mean, really? How did you expect the security agencies to take that on board? What did you mean by more security? Are you saying that maybe there should be more deployment of those security agencies to particularly areas that have maybe been identified at hotspots? But in the whole scheme of things, what do you mean by more security for the core members?
What I mean by more security, those areas where we identify as some of the lapses we observe, they should cover soft lapses. For example, in the eve of the election day, where the core members were taken to the rack, we went to some of these racks, and all the self coordinators, the report they gathered and gave and brief us that some of these security agencies are not enough. And sometimes you will not even just blame the security agency per se, but the number of men on the ground may not be enough. But however, we have identified such complaints, we have talked to them. All the state coordinators are in contact with the commissioners of police, the director of DSS, and the military commanders there. But the only problem there, the military commanders in such states, they are in the third layer, they are just behind until when it gets worse. But still, we get in touch with them so that they will also be aware, and at least, if possible, they can increase the deployment where necessary. And those are the places where I see increased security. Because in some places you go, you don't even see one policeman there. There were no deployment. There was a particular when I went in 1 or 2, 3 places in the Plateau State, you don't see even one policeman. I talked to the core members, tell them what, in fact, they are good to go, and the work was has taken place. There wasn't much, but we want to encourage, at least there should be that security to be there, so that it will encourage the core members. And going by what has happened in some places, if the security men are there enough, at least it will guide in the wrongdoings of some of the bad acts in the society.
DG, I mean, there are pros and cons to this role that these young men and women who are serving their nation on this compulsory 1-year youth service, they're exposed to. There are dangers, of course, and there are risks to this, and also some benefits. They have experience of being trained, and they have, the benefit of the pocket also. There's some money for them. But then there's been a past incident where the NYSC had told them that any one of them who has exhibited any kind of partiality will be handed over to the police. But there is also, under the law, that anyone that is to participate in an election conduct needs to swear an oath of neutrality. They are aware about this danger and the possibility of going to jail if found with an untoward activity in the process of this election.
They are aware. And these core members, they're educated. They're just going for universities. They are just not picked on the street. They are aware. Within NYSC, we do have what we call the bylaws. Our do's and the don'ts are also there. They are subjected to all laws, so they are not immune to any wrongdoing. So in that case, it is very easy to say that they are very much aware. They are aware of the pros and the cons. and they are aware for any wrongdoing done by them, they will face the consequences. And they are aware also some of the privileges they stand to gain. So in case of anything that will have all these happenings that have occurred to some of these corps members, we have taken the all of them are treated freely, and definitely in case we don't pray for anything, you know, I told you these corps members are assured. They are under insurance. So all their whatever thing that they do, they have also been taken care of. They also know that if they do anything wrong, definitely they will face the law.
So I know that you told us earlier that when my colleague was asking you about the welfare of some of these corps members who were attacked and those who there were rumors about their whereabouts and all of that. I'm happy that you can confirm to us that you have all of them intact and they're safe and secured right now, and that they're getting treatment, those that were injured. But give us an understanding of the benefit that some of them stand to gain in some of these aside stipend that they got their accrues to them after this exercise. Is there any kind of benefit? I remember my days that they will promise you that you will get a job. I mean, in the days that the unemployment rate is in double digits, and days that you cannot be assured of getting a job after youth service. But is there any benefit for some of them who are perhaps watching right now, aside the money that they get?
Number one benefit, they'll be proud to be part and parcel of a free exercise, and they will be proud that they have they are part of this the part of the success of the transition. Apart from that, you know, we're thinking of giving them commendation letters for all of them that participated in this election. Tomorrow, they can present it anywhere and part and parcel of all members that actually participated in this election. That one alone is a motivation. So the issue of whether giving them a job after this or that one is not part of the MOU we had with INEC, and it's not part of, we cannot tell somebody what is not going to be possible, but we always give them something that they can hold on to, and tomorrow when you see a corps member, you say, yes, I've taken part in the last election. And that alone is also a motivation for the corps members.
I was going to suggest maybe you should give them some certificate that they can lay claims to. I mean, sincerely.
That is exactly the recommendation I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's I mean, kudos for that initiative.
I have mentioned it to them when I was giving them sensitization, when we flag our sensitization in Abuja. I told them they will get certificate for all of them that have participated in this exercise. It is not an easy thing, and they need to identify themselves. That is national service we are talking about.
All right. Thank you so much, DG, for talking to us tonight. I know there are a lot of lessons to be learned in all of these process, and I guess by the time we are writing the story of this election and this electoral and democratic process, these young men and women need to be applauded and saluted, because they are the ones going into the interiors of this country, conducting this election. They really deserve our salute tonight, all of them who have been deployed. But thanks sincerely, Brigadier General Yishao, for talking to us tonight on the program. We appreciate it. But please don't mind us. We will call and disturb you again in the course of this election if there is the need for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, always welcome. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.